Hi, welcome to another edition of the Alan Rosenberg Show. It's Friday night. It is 8:31, and I just finished eating, and it's time to do a video. You know why? Because today is May 31st, and if you're a fan of this channel, at the end of each month, I do a special video, which we call, there's actually a playlist for it. It's called From Backlog to Catalog. And you know my channel. When I buy stuff, it makes a haul video. Although I haven't done one in a while. I got to do one. I'll do a haul video, and then that stuff goes in my backlog or active play. And it's only when I listen to an album, new album, 4 or 5 times typically minimum, that I decide if I'm going to keep it. Then it goes into the catalog, goes on the shelves, goes into the database. If I don't keep it, it gets dumped. So this show celebrates the ones that go from backlog to catalog. Let's do it. I got 14 albums that are graduating. And some of them are recent purchases. Some of them go back a while. And let's take a look at it in alphabetical order. So starting at the letter A, we got Ambrosia's debut album. Now, I've had this on vinyl for a long time. My old friend Sandy turned me on to them. And I've had a scratchy version on vinyl for a long time. That has been dumped, and I got this on CD. And it's good. Good progressive rock. They are very different than how Ambrosia sounded later on. One of the great prog songs, the opening track is called Nice, Nice, Very Nice. If you don't know that one, that's a great track. Time Waits for No One's a good one too. And no, it is not the Rolling Stones song. So there's Ambrosia. That's an easy one. I've already had that for years, so good to have it on CD. Next up. Gene Clark, you may have seen this in a haul video. This is a great purchase I found. This is called Flying High, and this is an import 2-CD collection, and it covers Gene Clark's career from the Byrds all the way through the latter day stuff, and really touches on his whole career. I'm a big fan of Gene Clark. Of course, he was the lead singer in the Byrds, and a great solo career, and that's a really good one. I'm actually a big fan of Gene Clark, so give you an idea of Gene Clark, what I have. I have like Silverado, Live and Unreleased, and the classic No Other, great album, and the self-titled Gene Clark album, and all of these are remastered with bonus tracks. This is really good stuff. Unfortunately, they weren't big hits for him, but here's one called Echoes. Lots of great stuff on here. Roadmaster. So as you can see, I am definitely a fan of Gene Clark, but the best Gene Clark album that I think I have is this one. I got 2 different versions. Gene Clark and Carla Olson, So Rebellious a Lover. This is a phenomenal album, and there's 2 different versions of it. Try to get the one that has the bonus track, this version. Has a bonus track of a demo he did with the Textones, called Jokers Are Wild. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. And it was a demo. Hard to believe. So, Gene Clark, big fan, and really good to have this collection Flying High. Kind of covers his career. I've been getting more and more into jazz. One day I'm going to do a video on my jazz albums. But I got Blue Train. And this is a nice version of it called The Ultimate Blue Train. This is John Coltrane's classic album, and I am becoming a big fan of Mr. John Coltrane. So that was a good purchase for sure. And let's put that there. Now I've been working on this one for months, and this is Bob Dylan's The Rolling Thunder Review, the 1975 live recordings, and this is a thick box set, and this is just great. Now, of course, I have the Bootleg Series 1, that's like the 2-CD set, and that stuff just made the Hard Rain official release, look so much better than that. But this collection is just tremendous, and I've finally gotten through all of this, and it's got the, the rehearsals on one disc, and then disc number 2 was more rehearsals. And then you start getting into the different concerts. Now the concerts, let's see, here's disc 3. Looks like that. And more rehearsals from And then you get into disc 4 and 5, and that's This is one of the concerts at Worcester, Massachusetts. And what you tend to find in this box is that most of the sets, focuses on just Dylan's set. This is disc 6 and 7 from Cambridge. They're very similar sets, but because it's Bob Dylan, and they really were a very loosey-goosey kind of band, and I mean that in the best way, the performances are, not radically different, but they're definitely different. But I had to listen to it over a long period of time because, again, you typically have the same songs over and over again. Great to hear live versions of Hurricane, my favorite Dylan songs. One More Cup of Coffee, Valley Below, another incredible song. So this one's got a lot of discs, 14 discs to be exact. And I loved it. I really did love it. It's not the kind of thing you want to listen to these 14 discs back to back because it's, repeats itself a lot. And then you got a nice book too. That is the book. So if you were a fan of Bob Dylan and you like this time period, Desire, and the Rolling Thunder Review and their sounds, and maybe you have Hard Rain, this is a great purchase. Again, not the kind of thing I'm going to listen to over and over again forever, but I really did enjoy it. That was really good. So that was a good purchase. Let's keep going. I got Mark Farner, one of his solo records. Actually, it was autographed. And this is one called For the People. Now, Mark has done some religious type albums. I wasn't sure if this was that, but this is not. And it turned out this is a really, really good record. If you like Grand Funk Railroad, this sounds like a really good Grand Funk album. And it's Mark Farner. He writes the songs. Excellent band. So if you like him, definitely, check this thing out on Spotify or whatever. You Know Who I Am, Same Old Feeling, Girl. Yeah, it's catchy. It's like that latter-day Grand Funk that I like. It's definitely like catchy. Good stuff. All right. I also got Bobby Keys. You know him from, Mad Dogs and Englishmen, and of course the Rolling Stones sax player. This is an instrumental album. Not easy to find this one on CD, and it's good. It's not essential by any sense, but good to have instrumental album. Let's keep going. Where are we? The Kinks. I have every Kinks album, you know that from my Kinks videos, but every once in a while I'll find an unusual compilation that even though I have all the songs, it's nice to have. This was a cool one. Waterloo Sunset, the very best of the Kinks and Ray Davies. And they kind of split it into 2 discs. And you get classics, but some of the deeper classics, which is really nice. And then you get London songs, some live stuff, and throws in some stuff from solo, Ray Davies, and even Dave Davies right there with For the Screen. So anytime I find Kinks compilations that are unusual, Kinks are made for like compilations. I've done videos on the Kinks, and they're my second favorite band of all time. But they work really well with compilations because they got so much stuff spread over so many albums. Let's keep going. Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti, and you're like, Physical Graffiti? You don't have Physical Graffiti? Well, not only do I have Physical Graffiti, I got it back in 1975, the day it came out. And if you follow my channel, this was one of my recent videos where I picked out the top 13 most important influential albums of my life, and Physical Graffiti was number 3 of all time. So why on earth do I have Physical Graffiti there as a new purchase? Well, because Led Zeppelin has been putting out these deluxe editions, and I've been getting them over time because I have every Zeppelin album multiple times. Vinyl, CD, remastered CDs again. And now these deluxe editions. This one, I love the packaging. They completely recreated it. But this one is actually got 3 discs. And so they spread the first 2 albums as a double disc like normally would have been. And then you get a 3rd disc of bonus stuff. Gotta tell you something. With these Led Zeppelin reissues, there's really not much to them. I would actually say that they would be like tied with the Stones for biggest bands that really don't do a tremendously good job. on their reissues. They're very slight. You know, this is the booklet, okay? You get a couple of pictures. There's like no copy that's of any kind of interest. And all of these deluxe editions that I've been buying because I'm a completist, they sound great, but you really don't get a whole lot of stuff. Here's the bonus disc of this deluxe physical graffiti right there, disc 3. You know, honestly, it's the kind of thing you listen to once, twice, in my case 5 times, because I got to listen to them 5 times, and I'll never listen to them again. But I'm a completist, so yeah, I finally found a deal on that, and I got that. I have all the deluxe Led Zeppelin albums now, except for In Through the Outdoor. All right, let's keep going. Manic Street Preachers. Well, I've had this for years, the Holy Bible, but this is a deluxe box set. So this is really nice packaging, as you can see. 10th anniversary edition. Now the Manics have like really a lot of deluxe editions, box sets and things, but this is pretty cool for what is probably largely considered their most famous release. This one is 2 CDs and a DVD. What I kind of found interesting is you get the Holy Bible, of course, you get some bonus tracks, live stuff, but then you get the U.S. mix. And in actual fact, it's a little bit different. I like the U.S. mix. Actually sounds pretty good. It's kind of punchy, maybe a little bit more commercial in a sense. The Holy Bible is not nearly my favorite Manics album. I tend to actually like their latter-day stuff. It's a bit more commercial, but it's a really good record, obviously. And it was nice to have this big box, so it took a while to get through that. Speaking of Manic Street Preachers, I got another album from them that made it this month, and that's Postcards from a Young Man. And I like this one. This one is kind of opposite that. This one's a very happy album. It's very punchy. It's very, not popish, but kind of popish. But I liked it. Even from the first listen, I was like, yeah, it's not war, just the end of love. Really good. Postcards from a Young Man, the title track, Some Kind of Nothingness. All really good tracks. I think I found it. This was a fine listen. And if you want to listen to the Manics as a more commercial kind of a sound, that might actually be a good one for you. Continuing with jazz, I got Jean-Luc Ponty in concert. And I've picked up a bunch of Jean-Luc Ponty albums, and this is the one that made it in this month. And turned out I really, really like that, this one. That's really good. Jazz works really well live, and that was a good one. Strong release for sure. Speaking of a guy that I've really been getting into, and if you're a fan and you're overseas, let me know. Chris Rea Rea, over time I've been really getting into, and I picked this one up called The Blue Cafe, and I don't know what it is, but I have fallen in love with this album. In fact, it's an older album, but this may wind up being one of my favorite albums of the whole year, even though it's an old album. This is just terrific. I love his guitar work is terrific. The songwriting is great. I really like his voice. He could be very Dire Straitish, very Mark Knopfler-ish. Also, Robbie Robertson, in a sense. I just played the hell out of this album. And I have some other Chris Rea albums waiting in the backlog. So that was thrilling. These are the other Chris Rea albums I have. So if you got suggestions, let me know. These are already in the catalog. The Best of Chris Rea. And then I have Auberge, which is really great. And then I got The Road to Hell. Different cover. Phenomenal album. Love this one too. And then I got New Light Through Old Windows. So these are the Chris Rea albums that I already have. And then I got The Blue Cafe. So I am becoming a big fan of his. So if you're overseas, you're watching this, give me some pointers. Another one I picked up was the Ramones Loco Live. This was crazy. This was literally 32 songs on one CD in whatever it is, 70 minutes. It's exhausting. I listened to this thing 3 times, I'm done. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they just go right in. I don't know how they do it. These guys are like weightlifters. I don't know how they perform at that speed straight 1, 2, 3, 4. It's crazy. The Ramones Loco Live. And the only other one I got from the 8 tracks, I have a backlog of 8 tracks, and I got Grand Funk Phoenix. Not one of the best Grand Funk albums, but I like it. And this one happens to sound pretty good on 8 track. So that's in there. I got a bunch of 8 tracks, and I fixed my player, so it's really working. So this was a fun purchase for me, and I totally enjoyed listening to it. So there you have it, folks. There is the backlog to catalog for May of 2024. And there it is. So let me know what you think. I think I'm going to do a haul video maybe in a week, because I've been buying a bunch of stuff and I haven't showed you people what I bought that's now in my backlog. That's how it works. Anyway, as always, thanks so much. New to my channel, hit subscribe. Check out the playlists. Lots of different playlists. And I hope you have a great weekend. I'll be back in a couple days to do another video. And I do hope you have a great weekend. As I always been saying from day one, stay safe, stay healthy. I've been saying that because of COVID when I started this thing. And thanks for your loyalty and your support. Have a great night. See you next time on the Alan Rosenberg Show.